Hi everybody, I'm DJ Foster here with Grand Valley State head football coach Matt Mitchell as the Lakers prepare for Lake Erie this Saturday afternoon and a road game in Painesville, Ohio. Well, Mitch, a tough loss against Ferris State last weekend here at Lover Stadium. A great crowd, second biggest in school history. Ferris State kind of took off in the second half. What do you think the difference was in the game? How were they able to pull away in that second half?
Well, the third quarter was the difference. We were pretty much ineffective offensively. We were really struggled to get the ball out of our own end. I felt like even if we hadn't have scored maybe on those couple of possessions, if we could have crossed the 50 and got some field position, that'd be great. But I think we had 4 possessions there where we didn't cross the 50-yard line. Meantime, our defense got an interception and was hanging in there. But the two costly things, they had I think like a 15-play drive led to a touchdown, which was really, killed a lot of clock and was difficult. And then we get a punt return, got them the ball in the 10. They scored pretty quick there. So it had got away from us in the third. A team like that, you got to, not give up explosive plays. We gave up a few too many explosive plays defensively. You got to score some points. And we struggled all day, really, run the football effectively and also protecting our quarterback like we need to protect our quarterback. So we had time. I thought we hit some plays, and there's just a few plays here and there. The reverse pass, we had wide open Jamie Potts. If you hit that play, if you hit a couple other plays here and there, it can really lift momentum and change a little bit of the course of the game. We just had some opportunities to make some plays. We just couldn't quite hang on to the ball or make big plays. And that was the deciding factor.
Seems like a completely different team you're going to play this week. A very run-based team with Anthony Bilal. Talking about Lake Erie, of course. They're 1-2 on the year, but coming off a victory against Walsh in overtime. I want to get the stat right about Bilal. Last year when you guys faced him, you gave up just 38 yards rushing. His next lowest game rushing last year was 145 yards against Wayne State. What does he do so well, and why were you guys able to contain him last season?
Well, he's unbelievably explosive in the open field. I mean, I've seen so many times on tape here the past 3 years where he puts his foot in the ground, makes guys miss, and so he's got a great mixture of speed. Like, he can outrun you, but he can also put his foot in the ground, change direction unbelievably well. So he is downright scary in the open field, and that's why I think he racked up all his yardage and was third in the Harlan Hill last year. I mean, we got 1 and 3 in the Harlan Hill or in our conference. We got to basically face them back-to-back weeks.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's a huge challenge that way. Last year, I think a little bit of the product was we did a good job kind of keying on him. Our defensive line controlled line of scrimmage, but the biggest thing, we got turnovers, and the game got to a point where the only way they were going to get back was throwing the ball and not giving to him. And that was a huge difference in the game last year, was the volume of turnovers that we forced in the first half.
So how do you work on forcing those turnovers again this year? He only played the first week of the season, so you haven't seen much from him on tape this year. So how do you kind of do that again this year?
Well, I think the same thing we talked about a little bit last year. We've got to get him to stop and start in the backfield, and that's hard with their scheme. It's very difficult, but I think the strength of this defense and the strength of our team is our defensive line. If we can get a good D-line play, get him to stop and start, that'll help. If he creases the line of scrimmage full speed, wow, it is extremely difficult for your secondary. So, turnovers, we work hard on turnovers. A few of those that happened last year, we were opportunistic. I'm not sure you're going to get all those that we had last year. I think offensively we need to continue to produce, and if there's one thing on their team, they've given up some points, they've given up some yardage. We've got to be a balanced football team. Our defense is going to be under duress. Our offense got to step up and help us out a little bit.
Talk about your offense a little bit. Bart Williams last week, kind of what did you see from him? Obviously, Jamie Potts, his first real action, scored a touchdown late in the game too. Brandon Bean had a big game. What are you looking for your offense from this week?
Well, we got to protect our quarterback. I think that in practice and certain times of the game, like when, he hooked up with Potts and he hooked up with Bean on those touchdowns, he had time. He had time in the pocket. So we got to continue to do that. We got to continue to establish a run game. I think getting Kirk Spencer going is important to help out, Bart Williams.
Right.
And we'll have Martavius Carter back. We didn't have him with an injury last week, so we'll have him back this week. And we got to, establish a little bit of a ground game so we can help Bart Williams out. We were in a situation last week. We were down. We're having to throw it a lot. They were teeing off on him. Part of the protection has to come down, not only just pass protection, but have some balance, being able to run the ball. And so I think that's really going to be key this week.
Grand Valley State and Lake Erie from Painesville, Ohio. It's a road game for the Lakers this week, a 1 p.m. start against the Lake Erie Storm. Mitch, thanks for your time and best of luck this weekend.
All right, thank you.